Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and to my video of ranking the top 10 Spider-Man games that I have played. Now please keep in mind, this is all games that I've played. So there won't be any Spider-Man games that I haven't played on here. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind is just because there might be a game that you like that I rank at the bottom doesn't mean I'm saying it's a bad game necessarily. It's just I believe that the other games are better, and that is why I put them higher. I will also be using different costumes in Spider-Man 2 because I can't get gameplay of them, of the other Spider-Man games. So, for instance, when we get to Shattered Dimensions, I will use one of those costumes from that game when we come to that one. But anyway, I think that's it. So let's get right on into the ranking. And here we go at number 10. Coming in at number 10, my least favorite Spider-Man game of all time and my least favorite out of this game list, we have the Amazing Spider-Man 1 video game. This story is boring as hell. It is not, I repeat, not based on Andrew's first movie. It, however, does take place after his first movie. Now, there is a couple things I did like about this game. One, Lizard does get a redemption arc. And two, I love the voice actor for Spider-Man. If you guys didn't know, it's Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And you guys can look that up. If I remember correctly, there's not that many side missions, and even those are boring as hell too. The collectibles, never collected all of them. If I remember correctly, they are comic book or comic book pages. Again, it's very boring. Now, I also did like that Stan Lee is in that game. That's right, he's in the game. So if you want to go hear his voice, go play it. Now, this is the bottom of the list. I'm not saying this is my most hated game of all time, but it's definitely my least favorite Spider-Man game. But anyway, let's move on to number 9. And coming in at number 9, we have Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Story is amazing, but there's better ones out there. That's why I put it at number 9. Now, guys, I don't hate this game. This game I just recently played for the first time ever back in, I want to say, March of this year. The story has 4 different Spider-Men throughout 4 different time periods, like Noir back in the past, the present that I consist of, Amazing Universe and the Ultimate Universe, and then of course the future, which is 2099. I think I liked the Amazing and 2099 the most. Just putting that out there. Now the story goes is that Mysterio is here to steal this tablet, and Spider-Man stops him, and as he stops him, he punches the tablet and breaks into smaller shards and goes scatters through different time periods, and that's when you use all 4 Spider-Men to collect them all and stop Mysterio from trying to get it back. Now, I didn't like Doc Ock's part. Something was just off with me. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't like it. I also didn't like Scorpion's look, but I can see why they're doing it. I think that's how he was in the comics as far as 2099's universe. But other than that, the combat was great. Graphics are great, even to this day. Great. Story, great. But unfortunately, there are better games out there, in my opinion, and that's why it's at number 9. But let's go ahead and move on to number 8. And coming in at number 8, we have Spider-Man 1, Tobey's first game that is based around his first movie. I loved how Vulture was in it. I really loved Vulture. Scorpion's arc was short but quick and easy, but also fun at the same time. Shocker's was okay. Kraven the Hunter, if you had the Xbox version, that's where his arc came into. I did not like that part of the game, but I did love the Green Goblin arc. That, as soon as you beat, I think it was Shocker, Or no, now that I'm thinking about it, it was Scorpion. As soon as you beat Scorpion, his arc, meaning Green Goblins, took off, and that's where it became amazing. No pun intended. Just because I have this game at number 8 doesn't mean I hate it. I actually do like this game, and that goes for any of these games, except for my number 10 spot, which you guys know at this point is the Amazing Spider-Man game. But anyway, that's all I have to say about number 8. Let's move on to number 7. And coming in at number 7, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of people hate this game. I unfortunately do not. I think it's better than the first one. It's longer, it has more villains, which is what I like, and it's based around Andrew's movies. Just like Tobey Maguire's, only Tobey obviously did it better. Now, the story for this game is Spider-Man is after the Carnage Killer, who killed Uncle Ben's killer. Yeah, that's right. Now, I don't know why people hate this game. I think the graphics are better than the first one. Obviously, like I just said, more villains. Like, I know Electro makes an appearance, Shocker, Green Goblin, Carnage, which, again, is what the game is based around. But yeah, I think this game is definitely better. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to number 6. And coming in at number 6, we have Spider-Man 3. This is Tobey Maguire's third and final game. Story is around the third movie. Of course, it has additional stuff, like, for instance, Lizard. Has the H-Bombers, gangs. And believe it or not, this game actually comes in 2 versions. That's right, 2 versions. First version's on PlayStation 2. That's the arc with Morbius. That's the one with Lizard. And it's, in my opinion, probably the worst of the 2 as far as graphic-wise. Now, there's the second version, which is on the PlayStation 3. Now, I've played both of them. Which one do I think is better? I think they're both good in different ways, if that makes sense. But I do remember the PlayStation 3 version had Rhino Scorpion instead of Morbius. It does have Lizard still. So I'm going to have to go with the PlayStation 3 version. However, you guys can look it up for yourself, but it was so funny. The third game has some weird eye graphics. And when I say eye, I mean eyes. Like your eyeballs. Oh my gosh, guys, go look it up. It's so funny. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to number 5. And coming in at number 5, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales. Guys, I didn't really like this game compared to the first and even the second Insomniac Spider-Man games. But the game was okay. That's why I put it at number 5. It's at least top 5. Story was way too short, in my opinion. I don't believe in games being only... They say it's only 15 hours long, but I've beaten it within like... maybe half that. Maybe. That's a big maybe. The side missions were fun, though. That's the one good thing about it, I guess I could say. Even though, guys, I'm not trashing on the game. Please don't hate me just because I put this one lower. Because I see a lot of people saying that this is better than the first Spider-Man game. No, it isn't. I'm sorry. It's way too short. The villain was just... I just didn't like how it ended up being his best friend from his childhood. But I guess that if people like it, then people like it. But anyway, that's number 5 for me. Let's move on to number 4. And coming in at number 4, we have Spider-Man Friend or Foe. This is the game that I grew up with. It is in the Tobey Maguire universe. So if you don't believe me, go ahead and look it up. Anyway, you get to play as Spider-Man and his villains and friends. So, friends, meaning Blade, Prowler, Iron Fist, and in the Xbox version, Silver Sable. And then, of course, New Goblin. And then his villains consist of Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Rhino, Scorpion, Sandman, and Mysterio, even though you don't get to play as Mysterio, which is the one thing I don't like about this game. Now, what's the story? Story's okay. It's about Mysterio as the main bad guy, takes control of Spidey's friends slash villains, and you have to save them, and then once you beat them, you get to play as them. Mysterio is making this powerful army out of symbiote goo, meaning out of venom, basically. Think of it like that. And how he makes them is this meteor comes in, breaks into smaller shards, scatters all through the earth, and it's up to Spidey and his friends to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. and collect these shards back. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to number 3. And here we go. In number 3, we have Spider-Man 2, the most famous Spider-Man 2 with the pizza theme, with the story from the greatest Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, Spider-Man 2. This is Tobey's second game. It's just like the movie, only with obviously add more side missions, more characters, more side quests, I should say. It's the one that started everything that we are getting today, and if you really think about it, this is one of the first games that I played. I don't think it's the very first one. It's based around the second Spider-Man movie of Tobey's universe, like I said earlier. I loved the characters and the villains that were in it, like Black Cat, Shocker, Rhino, Doc Ock, Mysterio, and I loved each one of their arcs. I love the open world. I love setting it up for the third game. It's just unbelievably well written game. But anyway, that's all we have time for, so let's go ahead and get on into number 2. And coming in at number 2, we have Marvel's Spider-Man 1, Insomniac's first into their universe. Guys, this game is so amazing, no pun intended. I love the Sinister Six members. I love Doc Ock, Mr. Negative, Vulture, Electro, Rhino, Scorpion. I just loved every single one of them. I didn't like how their boss battles were. I didn't like how Insomniac paired up, say, Rhino and Scorpion together and had to fight them both together. And the same thing with Electro and Vulture. I wished we could have fought them all just one-on-one, one at a time. I've even said that they could have made an arc for each villain, do like a little storyline to lead up to their boss battle, and maybe even if you do 2 at a time, then that's when their boss battles can come together. The DLC was amazing. I loved Black Cat. I love Hammerhead, even though he's not my favorite villain. The one thing I didn't like about this game is, like I said, the boss battles. Although Mr. Negatives, let's be honest, that one was amazing. And Doc Ock's boss battle, oh my gosh, guys, it's so good. As you all know, the ending was great. I actually cried the first time. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about Marvel Spider-Man 1. So let's move on to the number 1 place. And here we go, guys, the number 1 spot, the newest Spider-Man game that just came out a few days ago as the time of recording. What did I think about this? Without spoiling it, story was great. Better than the first ones, meaning Marvel Spider-Man 1 and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. I loved all of the playable characters. I loved the side missions, even though there's not as many as there was in the first one. The game's side missions were just like a lot fun, more fun than the first one. I loved the black suits. I loved the story around it. I loved Venom. I loved Kraven. I loved every side character. Like, this game took what the first one did, plus Miles Morales, and threw it together, improved it, and oh my goodness, guys, it's just such a great game. But there's not really much for me to talk about without getting the spoilers. But hey, if you want, check out my review that I made on this game. Anyway, guys, that is all the time we have for today, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, guys, much love. Peace out. Have a good day, good night,